All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this thing you use literally every single day, your computer. From the box on your desk all the way to the cloud, we're going to figure out how it all works. Sound good? Let's do it. I mean, have you ever really thought about it? You click your mouse, and boom, a whole world just pops up on your screen. But what's happening in that split second? What are all the invisible steps that connect that click to, well, everything? That's the mystery we're going to solve today. Okay, so first things first. We have to start at the very beginning. Before we get into all the cool stuff like software and the internet, we've got to understand the machine sitting right in front of us. So, what is a computer really? At its core, a computer is basically a processing machine. It takes a bunch of raw, kind of messy data and, poof, turns it into useful, organized information. And it does this with mind-blowing speed and accuracy. I'm talking about calculations that would take us a lifetime to do by hand. Plus, it can store tons of information, automate all the boring, repetitive stuff, and you can use it for pretty much anything you can think of. And just look at how fast things have changed. It's incredible. We went from computers that were the size of an entire room, running on these clunky old vacuum tubes, all the way down to microprocessors so tiny they can fit on your fingertip. And now we're heading into the 5th generation, which is all about AI. The journey has been absolutely staggering. You know, it doesn't matter if we're talking about those giant old machines or the smartphone in your pocket. Every single computer has 2 main parts. It's really simple. The hardware, that's the physical stuff you can actually touch, the keyboard, the monitor, all the bits inside. But the software, that's like the brain. It's the set of instructions that tells all that physical stuff what to do. You can't have one without the other. They're a team. So what's the whole point of a computer then? This slide nails it. Its main job is to take a bunch of random, unorganized facts, that's what we call data, and turn it into something that actually makes sense. It's all about turning chaos into clarity, so you have real information you can use. All right, let's peek under the hood at the computer's brain, the CPU. Imagine it has a little team of 3 working inside. You've got the ALU, which is the math whiz, a super fast calculator handling all the numbers and logic. Then there's the CU, the control unit. Think of it like a traffic cop, making sure every instruction goes exactly where it needs to go. And finally, there's the memory unit, which is like a temporary notepad or a workspace, holding all the data the CPU needs right this second. Okay, this explains that moment of panic we've all had. You know, when the power flickers? Well, here's why. While you're working, everything you're doing lives in RAM, which is temporary, short-term memory. It's like a thought in your head. If you get distracted, it can just vanish. Hitting that save button is you taking that thought and writing it down in a permanent book, which is your hard drive. That's why it's so important. So we've got all this powerful hardware, right? But on its own, it's just a lump of metal and plastic. It needs a boss, a manager to run the whole show. And that's where the operating system, the OS, comes in. It's the master program that wakes everything up and lets you actually talk to your computer. And believe me, it wasn't always so easy. Way back when, you had to be some kind of computer genius, typing these mysterious commands into a blank black screen. That was the CUI. What we have today is the GUI, the graphical user interface. It's this beautiful visual world of icons and windows. This, right here, is what changed everything. It's the reason you don't need a special degree to use a computer. You just point and you click. And look, here's a perfect example of that GUI in action. To create a new folder, you don't have to memorize some weird command. Nope, you just right-click, go to New, and pick Folder. It's that easy. That's your OS, your digital manager, just making life simple. Okay, so the OS is running the whole system. Great, but how do you actually do anything? You know, like write a report or make a spreadsheet? Well, for that, you need applications. Just think of them as specific tools for specific jobs in your digital toolbox. And yeah, there are a million apps out there, but these 3 are the big ones. The core of any digital toolkit, really. You've got Word for writing, Excel for crunching numbers, and PowerPoint for making presentations. Each one is a total powerhouse, so let's check out what makes them tick. The whole point of these tools is to make your life easier. Take headers and footers in Word. Sure, it's convenient, but it's more than that. It's about looking professional. Instead of manually typing your name and page number on like 100 pages, you do it once, just once, and it automatically shows up on every single page. That's automation at its best, saving you a ridiculous amount of time. All right, but when we talk about real power tools for data, Excel is king. There's no contest. And the secret to its power is all these built-in functions it has. Let's talk about one of the most basic, but also one of the most important, the sum function. So here's the deal. You could make a formula yourself, right? Typing equals A1 plus A2 plus A3 and so on. But why would you ever do that? A function is just Excel's pre-made shortcut. Instead of that long, clunky formula, you just tell it to sum and highlight everything you want to add. Boom, done. It's the classic definition of working smarter, not harder.
Now, over in PowerPoint, the name of the game is keeping your audience from falling asleep, and you do that with movement. You've got two main tools here. Transitions are how you get between your slides, like a fade or a wipe. Animations are for the stuff on the slide, making a bullet point fly in or a picture appear. It's how you tell a story one piece at a time.
Okay, so you're feeling pretty good about your own computer now. But the real magic, the true power, happens when you connect that one machine to billions of others around the globe. Yep, let's talk about the internet. This is probably the easiest way to get it. The internet is the physical network. It's the highway system that connects the entire world. The World Wide Web, on the other hand, is all the stuff you visit on that highway. The websites, the stores, the libraries. So they're not the same thing, but you absolutely need the internet highway to get to the websites on the web. And of course, one of the first things we all did on that network was send email. The structure is basically the same everywhere. You've got your to, CC, and BCC to say who's getting it. The subject line is super important. It's your headline. It's what makes someone decide to open your message. Then you have the body, where the actual message goes. It's really just a digital letter that gets delivered in seconds. But wait, now that we're all connected, there's something really important we have to cover: staying safe. Being online is amazing, but it means you have to be a little more aware. You've got to have your own digital defense system. And here are two of the biggest bad guys you need to watch out for. First is phishing. Those are just tricky emails or messages trying to scam you into giving away your passwords or personal info. The other is malware. That's just a general term for any nasty software designed to mess up your computer. Seriously, just knowing what these things are is a huge first step in protecting yourself. So there you have it. That's the whole journey, right? From the actual physical hardware inside your computer, to the OS that runs the show, to the apps you use every day, all the way to the giant global network connecting us all. The big takeaway here is that you get it now. You understand the building blocks. You're not just a passive user anymore. You're an informed user, and that means you're in control. So I'll leave you with this to think about. We've seen how crazy fast things have changed, from room-sized computers to the phone in your hand. The next huge leap, the 5th generation, is all about AI. So what does that mean for us? What is the computer of the future even going to look like? And more importantly, how is it going to change how we live and work? What do you think?